Chapter 31.
Draco found his first-year exams to be more challenging than he'd anticipated. Initially, they had scared him senseless, fearing he'd trail behind Granger and face his father's disapproval. He had assumed that this time would be a breeze, but the written tests, conducted in that suffocatingly hot room, proved nearly as draining as the previous attempt. His lack of enthusiasm for studying, coupled with distractions like Potter's presence at their study table, hardly helped. When he found himself struggling to recall basic facts during the history of magic exam, like what, exactly, characterized a goblin, he half-joked that failing could be blamed on a supposed lingering concussion. In truth, he had committed far more grievous errors this year than simply scoring lower than a Muggleborn. Conversely, the practical exams went by with embarrassing ease. Draco executed a flawless spell to make Flitwick's pineapple dance and successfully transformed McGonagall's mouse into an exquisite snuffbox. His dedication to extra transfiguration work over the winter holidays had clearly paid off, as McGonagall herself praised his creation, though he felt he'd gone a bit over the top with the embellishments. Crafting the forgetfulness potion in Severus's class posed no challenge either. He could have easily managed Longbottom's along with his own if not for the certainty that Severus would catch him. On the other hand, Potter wasn't holding himself together as gracefully, plagued by nightmares about Voldemort and succumbing increasingly to paranoia. With the trio poised for yet another end-of-year escapade misadventure, who could blame him? Draco, however, found Granger irksome as she nonchalantly passed him after the history exam, chirping about its unexpected simplicity. His self-restraint was commendable as he resisted hexing her. For Draco, the end of exams brought an oddly somber feeling, contrasting sharply with his peers' youthful glee. The mounting anxiety he'd felt wasn't so much about his grades as the inexorable march of time they marked. It wasn't the prospect of Potter confronting the Dark Lord that unnerved him this year. He was confident things would play out favorably for Potter and his friends. His real dread stemmed from facing his own father, who seemed only second to a reviving Voldemort in terms of terror. Skipping out on dinner at the Great Hall, Draco opted for a meal from the house elves. He later found himself sprawled in bed, idly twirling his wand, until Theo's voice disturbed his peace. Without even raising himself, Draco flicked his wand, parting the curtains to regard Theo with curiosity. What had Theo penned to Draco's father about him over the year, he wondered. Why hadn't he wielded threats against Theo and company? "This better be worth it, Theo," Draco grumbled, yawning, "for I find your visage less compelling than perfecting my blood magic." Theo, gullible as ever, paled in response to Draco's jest. "Oh, just thought you should know. There are Gryffindors at our common room entrance. Out after curfew, more than just a single one this time. Lots of them." Draco scowled lightly. "Why didn't you just report them? Get them into hot water." "They're your friends," Theo muttered, a touch of fear evident. When Draco confronted Potter's crew outside the entrance, he quipped with exasperation, "What could possibly be so urgent as to drag me away from my dark arts practice?" Weasley retorted with a grin, the dark arts of the dreaded Grindelwald." Both Draco and Weasley shared a laugh, despite Granger and Potter's disapproving looks. "Draco," Granger hissed, "you missed dinner, and we've uncovered something crucial. We need your help, now." Draco sighed inwardly. Could this matter really be weightier than reviewing defensive spells against sinister curses? Surely he'd done more than enough for the hapless Gryffindors? "Aren't you fortunate enough to have lasted a lifetime off my charity already?" For once, Potter snapped, "Just sip your Slytherin trap and pay attention." "Allow me," Granger insisted with urgency as Draco guided them to a secluded spot in the dungeons. So, Hagrid leaked how Fluffy could be gotten past with a lullaby while drunkenly acquiring a dragon egg from a stranger, one suspect for the stone's theft. "We tried to alert Dumbledore, but he's at the Ministry. McGonagall brushed us off, professing the stone's security, yet we're certain it'll be snatched tonight as Dumbledore is absent." We should inform Snape, Draco interjected, meeting their collective glare. He's our prime suspect, Granger pressed on, and I've lost track of him. McGonagall forbade us from monitoring the corridor, so. Draco prompted, his stomach sinking with realization. So, Potter stated resolutely, we're seizing the stone from Snape this very night. We've got the invisibility cloak, Weasley interjected, though it took petrifying Neville to get it. All a lengthy tale, Malfoy. But we're off now. Draco raised a skeptical brow. And you felt the need to praise me. Why? Seeking counsel? My cheering on? Well, do enjoy your quest. May what's left of you be somewhat intact upon discovery. You're coming with us, Potter declared, leaving Draco with no space for debate, flourishing the cloak enticingly. It can't possibly fit for, Draco stammered, his disbelief evident. It'll be snug, but we'll manage, Draco, Granger retorted impatiently. We need to stop wasting time and hurry up. Why would I ever think about joining you on this reckless escapade? Draco questioned, utterly incredulous. We're counting on you, Granger replied, her tone matter-of-fact. You're unmatched with curses in our year. You've got a knack for complex magic, and since Snape seems to like you, perhaps he'd hesitate before deciding to harm you compared to the rest of us. It's not Snape, Draco shrieked, his voice echoing through the dungeon halls. Then why won't you join us? Potter demanded. Draco crossed his arms, stifling the urge to voice his deepest fears. He wasn't there the last time. He might botch the blue loop and doom them all, and above all, he was terrified. What? Scared to confront Voldemort. Don't say that name, Draco hissed. Sounds like fear, Potter jeered, with a voice that, even at 11, held more strength than Draco had ever shown. As Potter's gaze lingered on Draco's lips, Draco felt the undeniable tremor of fear. Everyone knew he was scared, yet he shook his head in denial. Potter's grip was firm on Draco's shoulders, pulling him closer. Heading back to your father soon, are you, Draco? Afraid of him? Worried about what he'll say if he knows you opposed him? Wasn't he one of Voldemort's followers? Are you just like him? Potter held Draco's gaze, unwilling to let him look away. This is nonsense, Draco breathed, defiant. I owe you nothing, Potter. Don't you want to, though? Potter cut in. Don't you want to show you're not just your father's shadow? Draco froze, and Potter pressed his point. Here's your moment, Draco. Choose your side. Draco found himself at a loss. Had he ever truly known? I'm not answering to you, Draco said flatly. I don't care about your opinion, and Potter shook his head, intensity crackling between them so much Draco could nearly feel Potter's magic trying to meld with his own. You don't frighten me, Draco Malfoy, Potter murmured, his breath a whisper on Draco's lips, making him shiver and turn his face aside. You don't, and I see right through you. Potter's hand touched Draco's cheek, steering it back to meet those ominous eyes, eyes where Draco saw death portrayed more vividly than ever before. We know you're joining us, so stop wasting time. Released from Potter's grip, Draco silently fell in line behind him. As Weasley unfolded the invisibility cloak and draped it over them, Draco let himself be enveloped by it. Just in time, as Peeves floated past and moments later, they stood at the entrance of the third-floor corridor, the door left ajar. There it is, Potter said quietly. Snape's already navigated past Fluffy. Exhausted with the effort, Draco let Potter have the last word. He was mentally preparing for all their penalties if they survived to see them through. Under the cloak, Potter addressed the other two. If you want out, I won't hold it against you, he said. Take the cloak, I'm done with it. Thanks, Potter, Draco began before Potter rolled his eyes. Not you, Potter clarified. You're coming, I meant them. Though Weasley and Granger both bristled at the notion of being left behind, much as Draco had been relieved at the thought. Don't be daft, Weasley interjected. We're with you, Granger insisted. Potter led them down the corridor. A slow, ominous growling reached their ears as the door creaked open. Draco soon laid eyes on a monstrous dog, a massive column of flesh towering like the mirror of Ariste, with 3 pairs of rolling, maniacal eyes, 3 drooling maws, saliva dangling in glistening strands from yellow teeth, and 3 noses that sniffed furiously in their direction, though it couldn't see them. Draco nearly gasped, but Potter's hand stifled the sound. "What is that beast?" Draco hissed, surprised that they'd forgotten he'd never encountered it before. "That's Fluffy," Weasley offered. "What's lying at its feet?" Granger whispered. "Looks like a harp," Ron guessed. "Probably Snape's doing." "Must wake when the music stops," mused Harry. "All right, let's start." He placed Hagrid's flute to his lips and played. Though not exactly melodious, the creature's eyes began to close at once. Draco's supposed taste could not be accounted for. Gradually, the dog's growling ceased. Its weight collapsed onto its knees, then it slumped fully, falling into slumber. "Keep playing," Weasley advised as they slipped free of the cloak, Potter grabbing Draco's hand as he led him towards the trapdoor path. The dog's breathing made Draco recoil as they inched past its lethargic heads. "We should be able to lift the trapdoor," Ron guessed, peering over its massive frame. "Want to go first, Hermione?" "Certainly not."
Fine.
Draco half expected them to make the Slytherin volunteer, but Weasley steeled himself and stepped gingerly over the beast's limbs. He reached down, pulling the trapdoor ring, causing it to swing open. "What can you see?" Granger inquired anxiously. "Just darkness, no clear path. We'll have to jump." "Or," Draco said testily, "we can employ a bit of magic." They stared at him, baffled. "Come on, I'll levitate you down." Too time-consuming, the dog stirring, Potter decided, passing the flute to Granger. With a startled yelp, Draco found himself pulled along as Potter leaped through the trapdoor, falling, tumbling, until a soft thud answered their descent onto what felt like a plant. He was still yelling when Potter shook him vigorously. "We're okay, Draco. Stay quiet so they can follow." "No worries, it's a gentle descent. You can leap down."
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!